It is that time of the week for Econo Chat. Let's talk business with Mr. Daniel Steinman, with your hostess, Elsa B. Timinyani. A warm welcome to everyone listening right now, being tuned into the Power Station Energy 100. And of course, it is going to be a very positive talk that we will be having today in regards to expectations. Now, Mr. Daniel Steinman had, of course, should I say, warned us before that things are going to be okay. Somehow.
Did
somewhere.
I say that?
You have. Like, you said, you probably didn't say it directly because you also didn't want to get hopes up, but there was a positive talk that we had in regards to exceeding expectations.
I remember somebody saying on this station, on this program, early in the year, that he doesn't agree with the official forecasts and that he's expecting a much better growth rate than the official 2.6% that was punted in the beginning of the year. But I wonder who that was. And I also remember him saying that it would come from resources, from mining
sector.
And if I look at the stats that I got last week, either he had a crystal ball or he had a hotline to one of the planning agencies, because that's exactly what we find in the latest statistics. And I'm talking about the statistics that was released last week. And it's all about, it's an economic overview of the first quarter. So it's the first calendar quarter.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you remember that lesson of calendar quarters and fiscal quarters and financial quarters.
I certainly do.
Okay, so we're talking about the period January, February, March 2023. First calendar quarter of the year. And what's very interesting is that the quarterly growth rate came out just a tad above 6%. Now, that is actually excellent, and it makes it so more remarkable given that, dare I say, nobody expected it to be so good. But if you remember, one swallow does not make a summer. So you need 4 good quarters, or at least 3 of the 4 good quarters to make a good year. And you always have to keep in mind that the fiscal year and the calendar year are often not in sync. So it's a bit early to say that 2023 will turn out better than the official forecast, but I think it's not out of place to say that there is at least now a reasonable expectation that 2023 may get to about 3.5% growth.
Okay.
Now remember, 2022, last year, the official expectation was for 3.8%. And eventually, it transpired that the growth rate was far over 4%. But we only knew that in the last week of February this year, when the finance minister tabled the budget. And remember, I've explained to you how this works. When he tabled the budget, the growth figures for 2022 last year were still not finalized. So it's an updated estimate that they work on. And I've also explained this because of the delay and the lag in getting data in and to produce the statistics. We will only know by about July, August with the final national accounts what last year's growth rate is. But the reasonable assumption is that it will be in the region of about 4.4%, which is excellent. But as I said, confirmation will only come in a few months from now and only through the national accounts. Now we're looking at the first quarter 2023, and I'm saying, wow, something is cooking there. What happened? So we need to look a little bit at the elements, the components of the overall figure. And I've given you a little note there, and I can't remember all those stats. You need to help me out.
I will.
I think bed occupancy grew by 81%. Huh? It's the highest one. But now remember, that is what we call a nominal growth. So it's not the biggest value. The biggest value is in the mining. Mining grew by 18%. Is it? Is that correct?
Mining grew by 31.
31%. That is
yes.
very substantial. And that is by value.
Yeah.
Is that the biggest growth? You understand this difference between unit growth and value growth?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's 31%. Let me put it in a very simple way. 31% growth in the mining sector is in money terms, real money on the counter, much, much higher than 81% growth in tourism, in bed occupancy. So, because you're talking, when you talk mining, you're talking about the biggest sector in the economy. So, a smaller slice of mining is worth more than a bigger slice of tourism.
Yeah.
And the other one is vehicle sales. And I think that's up 18%. 19%. Yes, and but there's a reason for that. For 2 or 3 years, the government basically did not buy any vehicles, did not replace the fleet.
Yeah.
And in this year's budget, that was reversed, or they're now actually catching up for the previous
past,
3 years,
yeah.
and you now see that in vehicle sales. So it's very easy to explain that one. But let's go for a short break, and then when we come back, we look at the other two, the two movers there.
Okay.
And we see what they did to, why they supported growth in the first quarter so extensively.
Okay, let's go for that short break.